Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. As you know, we've got a new guest for you every week. This week it is the Big Cheese over there at Camdenton School District, Dr. Sean Kirksey. Thank you so much for coming by and joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So you have a long history at Camdenton. You went to school there.
Yes, I did.
Graduated high school there. You came back and taught there, and you left, and then you came back.
Yeah.
What's so special about Camdenton?
Oh, it's just amazing. It's the people. I mean, it's an easy answer. I mean, when people look at our facilities and they look at all that we have and offer for kids, I mean, it's easy to get caught up in, boy, this is a great place because of the stuff we have, Bob Shore Stadium and the athletic facilities and the Performing Arts Center and all those things and the schools that we have. But really, it's about the people. That's what you can't really replace someplace else. I think the whole thing is often imitated but never really duplicated. I mean, there's a lot of people that try to do the Laker thing, but it is a very unique place. It is being a Laker is uniquely special, and I think that's what draws people back.
And it's real. I mean, it's not something fake. I had somebody from a different school tell me, boy, those people at Camdenton, they got, they keep coming back, and that is a pretty special thing.
I think it's the genuineness of it, that people really do mean it when they say they care about the the Lakers, and they care about Laker Nation, and I think it's from the level of community support. You see that immediately, and I don't think people they don't follow through on that commitment and that support without really caring about the school district. It is a special place.
Did you always want to be an educator? Did you ever want to be like a cop or a fireman or something like that?
No, I didn't want to be an educator at all. My whole family's educators. In fact, it's strange, but I believe I'm the fourth superintendent in 3 generations.
Wow.
And the 5th school administrator in 3 generations, and I was the 7th coach in 3 generations, including, that was all the members of my family that were coaches and administrators, but I had 3 others that were teachers, and then my mom and both grandmothers worked as administrative assistants, secretaries.
You had no choice. I mean, you were going to be an educator.
I did choose. I was a golfer in high school. I loved golf, and I thought I'm going to go pursue something with that. Golf course development and those type of things, resort course and residential development. So I went that direction. I was a business major for 3 years, and then started coaching, kind of got the hook, and just decided I wanted to be happy, and that's what I was called to do. I was kind of running from it just because I didn't think there was very much money in it, and I was right about all those things, and so but the heart kind of knows where you're at, and I had a definite calling on me from a young age to be in education, and I fought it a little bit, but ultimately came back to it, and it was a great decision. I loved it.
I hear you were a troublemaker as a kid growing up, so I mean, you were kind of on the other side of the
the funniest things I hear from classmates when I was a principal was that I hadn't changed offices, I had just changed seats. So I was in the principal's office some, and when I became a principal, I just moved behind the desk, and both were fun. My mom probably doesn't appreciate my orneriness, but I was ornery. But I had that's part of what endeared me to Camdenton is I had great people that cared about me, and they knew some of that orneriness. I lost my father when I was 8, and so I think some of that orneriness just was me kind of acting out over that, and I had some really good role models. Bob Shore is one of those, Wayne Birch, Danny Stolting, just a long list of people who were really influential. R.C. Worthen, in fact, former principal. There were a lot of people that were influential in my life who saw I needed that male kind of father figure role model, and they filled that for me. And that just endeared me to Camdenton. They cared enough to go the extra mile for me.
Kind of some father figures stepping
100%.
up.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Because losing your dad at 8 that's a terrible thing.
Yeah, my dad was bigger than life too. I mean, for me, he was. He played at the University of Missouri, played basketball, was a team captain, coached, and won a couple state championships. And so he was just to me, he kind of hung the moon there, so to speak. And so to lose him was traumatic. And my mom was unbelievable as a single mom raising 3 kids. You know, she worked as a school receptionist, and I often joke that, we were so poor, if somebody broke into our house, they'd probably left something. So, but I didn't know I was poor till high school. My mom just sacrificed so much for us. And then high school, and people started driving really nice cars, and I was, had a puke yellow Mazda 626 with no reverse. I had to push backwards, I realized maybe some other kids having some advantages there financially, but I had lots of other advantages. I had great people that took care of me, and a mom that I never doubted for a second that I was loved, and I think that's big for a young person.
All those things build character, though.
On the other side of it, they do.
Yeah.
At the time, it's hard to tell a 15 or 16-year-old that pushing backwards in that car that had reverse is building your character, but it does.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Building your vocabulary for sure. Did you always want to come back? Did you know you wanted to come back to Camdenton, or did it just work out?
Yeah, the minute I chose education, I knew I wanted to come back to Camdenton.
Wow.
There was never a doubt, and it was always choosing a path that led back there.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So we're getting to know Dr. Kirksey. He is the superintendent, Camdenton School District. Is it the whole district or just the high school?
No, whole district.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 9 buildings, and so we've got we're kind of spread out at Camdenton. Geographically, it's a very large district. I mean, there are larger districts by number of students. We're a little short of 4,000 students, but it's we're all the way from we meet Versailles, and we meet School of the Osage, and we meet Lebanon, and we meet Max Creek, and we're kind of everything in the middle there, and it's vast, and so fortunately we have a great transportation director.
That helps.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Tony Hatfield does a great job because and great bus drivers. They're all over this. I was talking to one bus driver the other night at the ball game, and he's got 75 miles of pretty much gravel roads a day.
Wow.
And he's, in this heat and everything, he was getting those kids there home to school safe and home safe. And you just can't give enough credit to those bus drivers, especially in a district where, we're spread out. The lake makes us spread out.
Yeah.
So,
and those are things a lot of people don't think about.
No,
those
you don't.
Bus routes.
Extra expense and having a quality bus driver makes all the difference in the world.
So we're talking with Dr. Sean Kirksey, Superintendent, Camdenton Schools. We'll have more with Dr. Kirksey right after this. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic and 2 pediatricians with same-day appointments available. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone with 5 primary care locations conveniently located across the Ozarks. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the polar plunge to festivals, parades, aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center. We're talking with Dr. Sean Kirksey, the superintendent, Camdenton School District. Your wife is also an educator, so it's all in the family. I think she teaches first grade, is that right?
Yeah, she's teaching first. She was a librarian before, but now she's moved to Camdenton this year, teaching the first grade at Dogwood Elementary. So I'm excited to be kind of in the same district again. That's always been our thing. We always wanted to be in the same district. You get the same holidays, same time together. So yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. How did you guys meet?
We met at Southwest Baptist University. We both went to school there. And it's kind of a long story, but anyway, when I was a business major, we talked about switching back over to education. When I made that move, it was a funny story. I was in a business class and accounting class, and it was supposed to be accounting too. I was lost, and I couldn't understand it. And the professor, he was about 80. He was a good man, but he was past his prime for being a professor. And so we get through a Tuesday class, a Thursday class. I'm still lost. The whole class is lost. We're doing the reading. We can't figure it out. And meanwhile, I'd coached in the summer, and they'd wanted me to come back and coach. And I said, "That's it. I'm out of this business thing. I'm going to education." So I switched to education, but I'm then on the elementary track. I'm not on the secondary track, and I wanted to coach and teach at the high school level. But I got stuck on the elementary track. And if you know SBU, it's 2/3 female students anyway. And when you get in the elementary track, that's mostly female teachers.
Right.
They kind of go into it. That's
Your odds just went up.
So I end up in an entire classroom with elementary ladies. I'm the only male in there. And I end up sitting next to a gal, and she was smoking hot. I mean,
Yeah.
she had me from the get-go. And it was a family relations class of all things. So I find out then later, my buddy's in the accounting class, and he says, "Hey, Kirks, we figured out why we were lost in accounting." I was like, "Why is that?" I said, "Well, the professor was teaching out of accounting 3, and we're in accounting 2.
Oh, man.
So no wonder we were all behind, but I wouldn't have switched maybe if he hadn't done that. And I switched to go to the teaching track, and I sit next to my wife, Jill, and we've been married for 28 years now.
Like it was supposed to be.
Yeah, like it was
right?
supposed to be. It's it was quite an interesting path, and it was a plan meant to be. And I thought there was no way she'd say yes to me. It was divine intervention. I think she just took pity on me, maybe. But I married. They say in football terms, I outkicked my coverage there.
Absolutely.
But I ended up with a great lady, and she's a fabulous educator, which makes it easy on me. When I've gotten several jobs because they wanted her as a teacher, which is great.
Hey, it's a team thing right here, right? Well, and you guys had triplets, 3 babies at the same time. Is that right?
Well, she had them. I was there.
I don't know. I'm sure you had a part to play.
And we had triplets, and then we had one more right after that. We're one of those odd families that have triplets plus one. That doesn't always happen. There's one and then triplets, but usually if you have 3, pretty much done. But God doesn't subscribe to that medical journal, so we ended up with a 4th one that we weren't supposed to be able to have, and they've all been such a blessing. And one of the best parts of that was, we had 4 in diapers. The triplets alone were 18 diapers a day.
Wow.
To change those. And I went to bed at 7 p.m. and got up at 1 a.m. And my wife went to bed at 1 a.m. and got up at 7 a.m. to kind of get through those tough times when we first got them home. But we had over 30 volunteers from our church and from school that helped out. And that's one of the things that, when you make the decision to come back to Camdenton, that's the piece. School is clearly a part of it, but that was so much beyond school. That was helping out our family and being there, and it was kind of community.
Yeah.
And that's really what Laker Nation is that community of caring together. And so we've always felt like, this was home, and it's great to be back, and so appreciative of an opportunity maybe to give back to a community that did so much for us.
Now, how about your kids? Did they decide to get into education, or what's going on?
Got one that's in construction,
Okay.
Kyle, and he's works out of Springfield in construction. We've got going to be probably a construction superintendent is where he's headed. And then we've got one that's going to be a physical therapist.
Okay.
She's in the doctoral program for that at SBU. Got one that is going to be an educator. The 3rd triplet, Caden, runs cross country and track at SBU, and he's going to be an educator and coach. And then our youngest one, Cole, is just starting. He is 2 weeks, starting his 2nd week at SBU, and he's also going to be an educator.
Wow.
I
So
got
two out of the 4,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Absolutely. They saw mom and dad.
And honestly, the 2 that chose it, we would have said from 4 or 5 years old, they're probably going to be educators because it's just a natural for them, such a fit. So,
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What is it about being an educator that makes it worth it to you?
The kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
You do change lives, don't you?
100%. And I just, we do a thing at Camden I send out about celebrating Mondays, and I always tease our staff, especially in the central office, that keep your head up on Fridays. I always say, now keep your head up, keep your chin up. I know it's Friday, I know that's disappointing, but Monday's coming. And we get to have such an impact on kids, and celebrating Mondays is all about that difference you make and why we do what we do. When the kids came back after summer break and they're in the buildings, your purpose returns.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing about education. It is a calling. and your purpose is making a difference in the lives of kids. So
That's cool. So we know him a lot better now. Dr. Sean Kirksey, Superintendent, Camden and Schools. Thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate it.
no problem. Thank you, sir.
And thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.